Hey guys, hope you guys are doing well. The other day, actually yesterday in the news, Goldman Sachs is going to launch their own desk in, I believe, June, which is next month, to start allowing clients to buy and sell Bitcoins. I believe it's futures. Some of the articles I read have been, there's been discrepancies, meaning like one article says they're going to be selling futures. Other article says it's going to actually be selling blocks of Bitcoin. And as in the coming days, we'll find out more. But from what I understand right now, they're going to launch their own OTC desk. So what does this mean? One, obviously, Goldman Sachs is bullish on Bitcoin, as well as the rest of the world and Wall Street, in my opinion. But that is a huge indicator to me. See, I have sources in this market right now that broker big deals of Bitcoin. And when I say big deals or big blocks, what I'm talking about is like blocks of 10,000, 100,000, 150,000 Bitcoin. I'm not talking about some fucking rep who knows like someone else who knows someone else who knows someone who works at an OTC desk. I'm talking about actual people who are buyer and seller mandates. That the people that I'm associated with are directly working with to facilitate these transactions. So it's something that we kind of already saw already coming, but this is a huge indicator that Goldman Sachs is actually getting in the game now. So what does this mean for you as a retail investor? So what this means is, one, we've been talking about this for months in the market. Institutional money's coming in. It's already came in through the form of futures back in December in the CME and CBOE. Eventually you're going to see NASDAQ futures, and now we're seeing Goldman Sachs launch an OTC desk, whether it's for futures or whether it's for actual Bitcoin. Regardless, that's already an indicator that huge institutional buyers want to get in the game. Now, if it's an OTC desk, you're probably wondering, well, why can't a big buyer who wants to buy 10,000, 100,000 Bitcoin just set up a Coinbase account or something? Because there's not enough liquidity, from what I understand, on these exchanges to be able to service these huge buys. We're talking about blocks of 10,000, 50,000, 100,000 Bitcoin. Okay, if my math is right, and correct me, I'm not looking at a calculator right now. Look, today's as of right now, the market cap for cryptocurrencies is 9.6 billion. Sorry, forgive me. 454 billion. The price of Bitcoin as of right now is $9,600. Okay, you got an institutional buyer that wants to buy 10,000 Bitcoin. How much is that? What's 1,000 Bitcoin times 9,600 is about 9.6 million. 10,000 is 96 million. 100,000, I believe, is 960 million. And these are the things that I'm hearing in these conversations, that someone has a buyer in Asia that wants to buy 150,000 Bitcoin. Now you do the math, that's like 1.5 billion if my math is correct. So what does that mean? These guys are not dumb, man. There's a reason why they want to buy big blocks of Bitcoin. There's a reason why they want to move their money into Bitcoin, is because they know where this is headed. Okay, so what does that mean for you? Again, this is not financial advice. I'm not telling you what to do. I legally cannot give you financial advice, and I wouldn't anyways. This is just an indicator I'm sharing with you based off what I'm learning and based off what I'm hearing in the market through the people I know. And it's pretty evident, man. This isn't like some insider trading. I mean, it's pretty obvious. We know where this is headed. And again, this is still all speculation. You never know. Cryptocurrencies could even go to zero. You don't know that. So I'm not here to give investment advice, but if I was to tell my cousin or someone who wanted to get in, you know, you need to get in with your risk capital. Needs to be capital that you're willing to lose. That's how I would view it. But at the same time, you also need to know what it is you're investing in. So with the Goldman Sachs news, it's very, very positive. I think we're going to see a new, and this is just me speculating, okay, could be totally wrong, but I think we're going to see some new price action, price moving on, going upwards with Bitcoin in the near future. Just my opinion. We don't know. So again, I'm just using this as an indicator. I don't think Goldman Sachs would get in the game if they thought Bitcoin was going to go down. That's just my opinion. But what I want to also talk about today is, I think there's a big disconnect between evangelists in this space. There's a lot. Okay, so there's a lot of very, very highly intelligent people in the space. And there's a lot of very, very naive, gullible retail investors in this space, okay? The ones who have been in this space for quite some time are typically the people who really understand blockchain technology, who understand the economics of cryptocurrencies, especially Bitcoin, and also developers who understand the architecture behind Bitcoin and the blockchain and the consensus algorithms. I'm not saying you need to go and study and become a blockchain engineer or a developer, because hell, I'm not. I couldn't even write a line of code to invest in this market, but I think it is fundamentally important. See, look, I'm not a day trader, and I wouldn't be a day trader. It doesn't fit my DNA. Okay, maybe yours. If so, I could recommend some courses to go, some people to follow, and some courses to purchase to learn basic technical analysis. Now, I have indicators that I use in my charts. I know how to somewhat read the charts to at least give me a better idea of when to enter and exit. But by all means, I am no expert at that. But I have done a few successful trades. My trades would be like, I'd be in a trade for like 2-3 weeks or 2 months. And even then, there's no guarantee that my trade will be successful. So that's why for me, trading, if I ever do trading, it's just like 3 to 5 times a month, and that's it. For me, what matters more is fundamentals. And I know right now this market is, obviously we know this market is heavily manipulated. Listen, it's a small market. $450 billion is not much. Gold, just to put it in perspective, is $6 trillion market, right? So $450 billion market, we're still in the very beginning. But it is heavily manipulated. It's manipulated from many ways. I mean, it's manipulated through whales, manipulated through the exchanges, manipulated through futures. It's manipulated on many different layers, okay? So for anyone who tells you it's not, they're either naive or they're lying to you. So know the game that you're in, okay? But I think it's really important. So for me, when I invested in cryptocurrencies, I invested I wasn't here just to make money. It was more so not just to secure my future, but it's something I believe in. So I took the time to really at least get a basic understanding of what Bitcoin was, right? And even I'm still learning as well, and I'm going to continue learning always. And there's a lot that I still need to learn, right? So what I want to do is I want to share with you what I've learned in the past couple years, so you can shorten your learning curve and minimize your mistakes as much as possible. Because my risk profile, I'm actually very conservative. I know a lot of people who got in on ICOs, got in on very speculative cryptocurrencies, that honestly, as I've learned about their consensus mechanisms, which I'll get into a little bit, I disagree with their projects, even though I know I can make a lot of money, but I wasn't too sure. So because my risk tolerance is not high, I never touched those coins, right? And I know people who touched them and made a lot of money, and then didn't cash out because they're hodlers. Hold on for dear life. It's an acronym. And also they didn't understand the charts, like how to exit, enter a trade, and so on. So I think it's very important to understand as an investor what it is you're getting in, right? So Bitcoin is not a matter of opinion. I think obviously this is a matter of fact. It is the most out of all the crypto assets, it is the safest crypto asset to invest in. Okay, again, I'm not telling you to invest. You know, do your own research, do your own homework, and make your own decision. This is not me advising you on what to do. I'm just sharing with you how I approach this market, even if I was starting today. Bitcoin, what I would say, let me backtrack a little bit. What I would say is, I think it's important as an investor to understand the architecture, not on a coder level, but more so just from a understanding of not just philosophy, but economics, right? So Bitcoin uses what's called a consensus algorithm. All these cryptocurrencies, this is the reason why we got in the first place. This is the reason why I got in. Bitcoin is decentralized. Why? Because of its consensus algorithm, its consensus mechanism. And the consensus mechanism it uses is called proof of work, okay? Now there's other cryptocurrencies that popped up. Ethereum has been around for 4 years. This is number 2 right now in the cryptocurrency market in terms of market cap. Right now, I believe it's trading at $760. It's about a almost $75 billion, $76 billion market cap. Ethereum uses pretty much the same consensus algorithm, but it has an extra layer on top of its blockchain using smart contract applications or features, and developers can build decentralized apps on top of the Ethereum blockchain. So Ethereum, in theory, can handle a little bit more transactions than Bitcoin. But Bitcoin is the most decentralized cryptocurrency and the safest asset. And I think that's the reason why we all got into, most people got into it because they just want to make a quick buck and they want to get rich quick, right? And that's not what this is about. But the evangelists, the ones who've been in for the past 4 or 5 years, they got in because this is more of making a statement, is that they want to unplug from the traditional legacy financial infrastructure that we've been a part of since the day we were born, which is money is controlled by the governments of this world. And what Bitcoin does is it gives you freedom because it unplugs from that system. And Bitcoin is basically a distributed public ledger that is decentralized, and is decentralized because of its consensus mechanism. And in other videos, we'll dive in deeper into the different consensus mechanisms that different cryptocurrencies uses. So the pros of Bitcoin is that it's censorship resistant because of the proof of work consensus mechanism it uses, and basically it's unhackable, right? So and it's the safest blockchain. The cons are that they're having scaling issues. It's handling, like a transaction can take up to 10-20 minutes. At one point 4 or 5 months ago, a transaction would take about, sometimes half a day, because the mempool was just slammed with so much activity, so many transactions. So they're trying to the blockchain. I mean, here's the thing: the Bitcoin dev community has probably the smartest engineers, blockchain engineers, computer science scientists, developers on the entire planet. And this is another reason why it's probably the safest crypto asset. But Bitcoin has scaling issues. And a lot of these new cryptocurrencies are offering better, quote unquote, better consensus algorithms that solve the scaling issues that Bitcoin is running into. But what they do compromise is censorship. What they do compromise is being decentralized. So they become a little bit more centralized. And again, I'm not going to get into all the nuances of that. We will have other videos on that. But the premise of this video is, I think as an investor, it is important to understand the different consensus algorithms that each cryptocurrency is using. There's no, in my opinion, there's no one better than the other. If as an investor, for me, I would feel more comfortable putting 70% of my portfolio, for me, in Bitcoin, as opposed to, based on my risk tolerance and just understanding at a high level overview, for the most part, understanding the technology and the algorithm that is being used by Bitcoin as opposed to other cryptocurrencies, I'd feel more safer. But if your risk tolerance is a little higher, and maybe some of these other consensus algorithms basically resonate more with you, because some people may value user experience over being decentralized, right? And I totally get that. So I'm not against either or. I understand, like, for example, EOS, right? So EOS, they claim that they're going to be able to handle, I think, 250,000 transactions a second, right? So Ethereum currently, I believe, handles like 15 or 14 or 20 transactions a second. EOS is claiming that they're going to solve that issue. But EOS, I believe, is using delegated proof of stake. And I believe Ethereum is moving over to that as well. And again, we'll talk more about these consensus algorithms. But EOS, though, from what I've been learning and reading, is that they're mainly going to be running delegated proof of stake running through 21 master nodes. And the nodes are the ones that basically verify the transactions on the blockchain. Whereas, to put in perspective, there are thousands upon thousands of nodes on the Bitcoin blockchain, so it's more decentralized, right? And so with EOS, there's a lot of hype around it right now, but they haven't even launched their main yet, which is going to launch next month in June. But their price action has gone through the roof because there's a lot of speculation. Now, we don't know where EOS is going to be a year or two from now. We don't know if they're really going to be able to handle that many transactions. They're obviously going to run into scaling issues as well. We don't know that. That's why as an investor, I think it's really important to have some type of overview or understanding of the consensus mechanisms and the pros and cons of each one with each cryptocurrency. So with EOS, they're claiming they're going to solve a lot of these scaling issues that Ethereum is having and Bitcoin. But even though they claim they're not, but from what I see, it looks like they're compromising censorship to where it's going to be more centralized. And the point of for me at least, why I invested in Bitcoin, because it wasn't just to get a great return in the near future, in the long-term future, and to secure my future, but it was more of me making a statement, because I wanted to unplug from the traditional banking system that it's not even a matter of opinion, it's a matter of fact, has been robbing us for years, right? So with that being said, I think it's important for us to understand this and understand these different consensus mechanisms and understand the fundamentals of these tokens. This is where I see there's a disconnect. So back to what I was saying, I think there's a disconnect between, there's a crowd, you'll go on YouTube and you'll see a crowd of YouTubers who are expert traders. And if you're a trader, then, you know, find the right trader to follow their methodologies and so on, right? And then there is a bunch of speculators, a bunch of people who are talking about stuff that they don't know what they're talking about. They've never ran a business. They don't know how to do due diligence on these projects. They don't know how to vet a team, vet a project in terms of seeing if there's a real use case for their token, right? They don't know how to vet if there's even market sentiment, which names are behind these projects, right? And also vet if the project's bullshit or not. And like I said before, is there a use case for the token or not? Are they really solving these scaling issues, or is it just in theory? Is it just a white paper and they don't really have even a minimum viable product up? People don't do that. They don't vet these projects. They just listen to a couple YouTubers who put up clickbait titles saying the top 5 ICOs coming out in March, and they just believe what they hear on YouTube and they just go make an investment based on some YouTuber saying, oh, EOS is going to be 250 bucks in September. Based on what? You know what I mean? Like, they haven't even launched their mainnet yet in June. So what I'm saying is there's too many speculators, and there's too many high-level either traders or people who really understand the engineering and the code behind these blockchain protocols, and to really be able to look at their business model and see a discrepancy, but they speak very high level. So then the average retail investor comes in and is like, you know, look at a video and be like, I don't know what the fuck this guy's talking about. You know what I mean? So then an average retail investor is probably going to gravitate towards the speculator, because inherently we're all a little bit lazy and we all want to be handed trade calls and we all want to be told what to do, and we don't want to put in the time to understand, to learn, to really understand this space, not just from a investment perspective, but I mean also from investment perspective in terms of just understanding the actual project and the actual token business model. Is there a use case for their token? You know, how are they solving some of these scaling issues? What is a consensus mechanism? What do they mean by when they say decentralized, right? We don't take the time to learn these things, right? And the reason why is because, you know, some of us have a lot going on. We have careers, we have jobs, or a lot of people are just lazy and they're very greedy. And, you know, we've all been through it. I've been through it as well, where we just want to watch a couple YouTube videos where somebody says Neo is going to be $1,000 this year, and it's already like, at the time, you know, when these videos were coming out, I'm sure they still do, I just don't pay attention anymore, Neo was like 30 bucks. So people are trying to buy up as much Neo as possible because they're romanticizing in their mind that it's going to be $1,000 at the end of 2018 or in 2019. But there's no guarantees of that, right? So how many ICOs are in Neo right now? Probably 20, 30. I'm not even sure yet. I haven't checked in months. How many ICOs are in EOS? None. Yeah, they haven't launched a mainnet, like I've said a few times. So the point I'm trying to make is that there's a disconnect. There's very few people who are actual teachers. And what I want to do is, I've made a lot of mistakes over the past year and a half because I've allowed my emotions to get the best of me. At times I've allowed greed to get the best of me. Even I got drunk off of cryptos when we were having a huge bull run and went all the way up to 800 billion in December, January. Where Bitcoin was 20 grand, 19 grand, 18 grand. And I, at times, if you see some of my old videos on our other Crypto Cowboys channel, I at times had put out, oh, I think Litecoin's going to be X amount. And I don't want to do that anymore, right? So, because I think that's irresponsible, but I see people continuing to do that, and I see retail investors just want to be told a price projection that is a high probability is not going to happen, but we just want to be told, hey, Litecoin's going to be $2,000, so we can romanticize in our head because we own like 20 Litecoins, so we're going to make 40 grand, and you know what I mean? Like it's there's a lot of, it gets really messy, and I'm not saying I'm here to clean up everything, but what I want to do is I want to be able to share with you the mistakes I made and what I'm learning and what I have learned and how I view these projects and how I try to do due diligence, because the number one rule for me is don't lose capital and minimize risk and maximize potential gains, right? Put myself in the best position to get the most gains possible and minimize my downside risk. That's what I want to do, and I want to share that with you guys. So if this video helped, you know, click the like button so others can find this video. Go ahead and click subscribe, so as we pump out more video, you'll be and click the bell button as well, so you'll be updated whenever we post a new video. And go to our website below, BitcoinBuddha.IO. Join our mailing list and be a part of our list. You know, be on our list so we can notify you whenever we have new content as well. And yeah, the idea here is you want to learn. You want to understand at least some fundamentals in this space right now. So when you're picking projects that you want to invest in, know what you're investing in and know the game you're in, right? And when I talk about fundamentals, I'm not just talking about, you know, what consensus mechanism or algorithms these projects are using. And what I am also talking about is vetting the entire project, vetting the team, seeing if they have a minimum viable product, see if where they are in the roadmap already, right? Do they have a parent company? Does their parent company have already existing relationships with businesses in that space, whether it's a DApp or whether it's just another cryptocurrency that's aiming to be a currency or maybe a store of value to compete with Bitcoin, which good luck with that. So for me personally, I like to understand these projects more so now, because I've made the mistake of just being gullible and investing in projects and losing money on some projects. And I want to, hopefully I can help you minimize those mistakes, help you manage your emotions, and share with you how to be able to view a project so you can put yourself in the best position possible to make an informed decision and hopefully minimize your risk and do well for yourself in the space. So again, this is not financial advice. Do your own research. I'm just here to share with you some knowledge so you can hopefully minimize or shorten the learning curve, because you got to learn. You got to put in work. This is not, there's no, anyone who's telling you you're going to get rich quick and this coin's going to moon and so on and so forth. Don't listen to these people, man, because half of these people don't know what the fuck they're talking about, to be honest. Forgive me for my language, but this is the truth. And a lot of people are just very greedy, and they just want, to sell this get rich quick deal, or they want to, you know, they want to put up these clickbaity type of titles on their videos just to get you to click on them and to get you to buy something from them. What we want to do is we just want to help share with you what we learned, what mistakes we made, how we view these projects, and yeah, just how to minimize risk. You're going to have to learn. You're going to have to put in the work in this space. There's no easy money ever in this world. Hope this video helped. Again, share this video with your friends. Share this video with anyone you believe needs it, which I believe most people do, but that's just me being biased. Click the like button so others can find this video as well. Subscribe, hit the bell button as well, so whenever we post a new video, you'll get notified. And go to BitcoinBuddha.IO and join our list and be notified whenever we pump out new content, which is going to be more frequent going forward. So hope you guys have a great day, and talk to you guys soon.